Hello all, welcome back to taxonomy class. In the last class we had discussed the components of International Code of Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi and Plants, that is ICN or ICBN, and the major part of the code is occupied by three divisions, and before that there is a preamble, and the divisions are followed by a set of appendices. At the basic of nomenclature is a set of 6 principles. Principle 1 to 6. We'll discuss these principles in detail. Now we'll pass on to different rules and recommendations. And the rules and recommendations are contained in the division 2. And these rules and recommendations are distributed into different chapters and articles. And the first chapter deals with the taxa and their ranks. And the article 1 of this chapter says that the taxonomy groups at any rank will in this code be referred to as taxon, singular taxon and plural taxa. And every individual organism is treated as belonging to an indefinite number of taxa, consecutively subordinate ranks, among which the rank of species is basic. So the basic unit or the basic taxon in taxonomy in nomenclature is species. And a species, when we say a species, this is a species, and that belongs to a set of different categories, treated belonging to an indefinite number of taxa consecutively. And there are mainly 7 taxa, which are the basic units of classification and nomenclature. These are the principal ranks or taxa in descending sequence. They are kingdom, which occupy the highest position, or regnum, then division or phylum, divisio or phylum, then class or classes, then order, ordo, family, familia, genus and species. And thus each species is assignable to a genus, and each genus to a family, family to order, etc. So these are the principal taxa, ranks of taxa in taxonomy or classification. These are the different steps or taxa or ranks in their descending order. Kingdom is the highest, then division, class, order, family, genus and species. And species is the basic unit, and that is fundamental of this nomenclature and classification. And many additional intermediate categories in the hierarchy exist, such as subfamily, that is between family and genera, then subgenus between genus and species, section, tribe. All these subgenera, sections and tribes are between genus and species. But those listed above, that means starting from species, are the basic units in nomenclature. And sometimes infraspecific taxa are also designated below the level of species. And these infraspecific taxa are not mandatory, but all these 7 categories are mandatory for any plant. So the different categories of ranks have definite endings. The division is having phyta, for example, Magnolia phyta, then subdivision ends in Phytina, class Oxida, subclass Idae, order Ales, suborder Inae, family Acaeae, subfamily Oideae, tribe Ea, and subtribe Inae. And these are the definite endings of different categories. And there is no definite endings for the categories below subtribe, like genus and species, and also for infraspecific categories. And the section 1 of the chapter 2 deals with the status definitions, status of taxa. And the chapters deals with the status, typification, and priority of names. And the Article 6 says effective publication and valid publication. 6.1 effective publication, 6.2 valid publications. Effective publication is publication in accordance with Article 29 to 31. Except in specific cases, and text and illustrations must be effectively published to be taken into account for the purpose of this code. That means to have a validity, a value for a name, and the name must be published effectively. And that deals, effective publication means publication method, by which method, and what is the mean by which the name, the new name of a taxon is published. And valid publication of name is publication in accordance with the relevant provisions of the code. That is, a name is valid when the name is published in accordance with the rules of the botanical nomenclature. That is, when all the rules satisfy the publication, then the publication of the name is valid. And effective publication is a condition for valid publication. And effective publication means the medium in which the name is published. And the names are usually published in print form. And now electronic publication is also permitted in journals, or that is serial publications with the ISSN number, or books with the ISBN numbers. And section 3 of chapter says deals with the priority of publication. So nomenclature, that is in the principle, it was stated that the nomenclature is based on priority of publication. That is, if more than one name exists for the same taxon, then the name which is published earlier will get validity. That is priority. That is priority of publication, or rule of priority. Each family or lower rank taxon with a particular circumscription, position, and rank can bear only one correct name. Special exceptions are made for 9 families and 1 subfamily for which alternative names are permitted. For example, Poaceae, Cruciferae, etc. So that is priority. And according to the rule of priority, every taxon should have only a single name. If more than one name exists for a taxon, then one of the taxon should get validity, and that will be the earliest validly published name. And the taxonomies should follow the principle of priority while choosing names. And this is the history of the nomenclature, genus name of this single genus. In 1753, Linnaeus published the name Polygala with this spelling. In 1768, Polygala with a different spelling. in 1770 Polygalloides with Agosti, and 1790 Phylax now. So according to the rule of priority, this name, this is the valid name, because all these names are given for the taxon, but the lineage name POLYGALA published in 1753 get validity, because that is the earliest published name available for this taxon. The earliest name Polygala L is the correct name for the genus. And there is an rule known as Q rule. This is not included in ICBN, and this Q rule is against the rules contained in the ICBN. That is, this is a different view. According to this view, if a species, and this is not legislated by ICBN, if a species was transferred to another genus, the specific epithet did not follow the species in the new genus. And according to the rules of botanical nomenclature, when a taxon or when a species is transferred from one genus to another genus, the specific epithet should be retained. And that is because of the rule of priority, because the specific epithet has its priority over the new or in the new genus when the species is transferred to a new genus. When a species is transferred from a genus to another genus, then the specific epithet, the species name, must be retained. And in the new genus, it received the first specific epithet assigned to it in that genus. The earliest specific epithet must be retained in all cases of new combinations. That is, this is not a combination. When one taxon is transferred from its higher taxon to another one, that is a new combination. So in new combination, the older name should be retained. So this rule is not supported by the British botanists in earlier times, and that their rule is known as Q rule. The British botanists supported Q rule. That is, they did not follow this rule of ICBN. That is, the retaining the name of specific epithet or species name in new combination, while American botanists oppose the same. So that is Q rule, and this is a variation from the rule of ICBN. And they, according to this rule, they are not ready to retain the specific epithet in new combination. And this is an example to illustrate Q rule or the rule of ICBN. This is a recently described genus, that is Canscorinella, that is published in 2014 only, with two species in it. And these two species are not new. They were earlier included in the genus Canscora. Canscora, the earlier name was Canscora stricta and Canscora batiana. And Shaina and Nambi established a new genus, Canscorinella, by separating two species from Canscora, Canscora stricta and Canscora batiana. They erected a new genus with the two new combinations. So this is a combination. So this stricta transferred from Canscora to Canscorinella. So this is a new combination, and in the new combination we cannot accept a new name because this name has priority over the new name. So this must be retained. So the new species name must be Canis Coronella stricta, and this is known as double citation. And the author of the name who originally published the specific epithet is given in parenthesis, and that is followed by the author or authors who effected the change or who established the newer combination. Similarly, Canis Coronella battiana, by the transfer of Canis Cora battiana, species Canis Cora battiana from genus Canis Cora to Canis Coronella, and this is the double citation. S. Prasad and Ravindran, they are the authors having this priority for the specific epithet, and these are the authors Shahina and Nambi. They established the new combination. So according to Q rule, this procedure is not followed. If a taxonomist follow Q rule, then they will coin a new specific epithet for this new combination. They did not follow this rule of ICBN. So that is this variation from ICBN. The article 6.5 says that the correct name of a taxon with a particular circumscription, position and rank is the legitimate name which must be adopted for it under the rules. And the next article, article 7, is about typification. And in the principle, it was stated that botanical nomenclature is based on typification, types. The application of names of taxa at the rank of family or below is determined by means of nomenclatural types. Types of names of taxa. The application of names of taxa at the higher rank is also determined by means of types when the names are formed from a generic name. For example, family or families are based on genus names. So the family is typified by the genus. A nomenclature, what is a type? A nomenclature type or typus is the Latin name or Latin term, is the element to which the name of a taxon is permanently attached, whether as the correct name or as synonym. The nomenclature type is not necessarily the most typical or representative element of the taxon. That means there is no the type should not be the typical of the taxon. That means there should not be all the characters of the taxon. It is a specimen only. A nomenclature type is that element to which the name of a taxon is permanently attached. That is known as element. May not be always a plant specimen, herbarium specimen. Sometimes in earlier nomenclatural histories, some illustrations or some photographs, etc., may perform the function of type. But in present situation or in new publications of names, the type, species names, the type must be a herbarium specimen. So a nomenclature type or typus is that element to which the name of a taxon is permanently attached, whether as the correct name or as a synonym. The application of names of taxa of the rank of family or below is determined by means of nomenclatural types. The application of names of taxa in the higher rank is also determined by types when the names are ultimately based on generic names. Then what is a type? A nomenclature type or typus is that element to which the name of a taxon is permanently attached, whether as a correct name or as a synonym. So the type or the element is permanently attached to the name, not with the taxon or the species, because a single taxon or a single species may have many names, more than 2 names sometimes. and each name may have its own type. So a taxon may have more than two uh, types, but a name is always associated with a single type. The nomenclature type is not necessarily the most typical representative element of a taxon. And there are different types or different kinds of types. The most important one or the real type is holotype. That is the one specimen or illustration used by the author. The author means the author or the taxonomist who published or who validly published the name or designated by him as the nomenclature type. As long as the holotype is extant, it automatically fixes the application of the name concerned. So holotype dominate over all other types of types. So this is a holotype type of species of leucus, and there are different. This is the key for the description of different kinds of types. So there are different types: holotypes, isotypes, paratypes, isoparatypes, syntypes, isosyntypes, lectotypes, paralectotype, lectoparotypes, neotype, and isoneotype. So we'll look into each type specimen. So a single collection cited by the author as type. The one specimen designated by the author as type is holotype. So holotype will be a single specimen always. It's a single sheet. So for any name, there should be a single holotype only. So the one specimen designated by the original author as type is the holotype, and sometimes the holotype may have its duplicates. Duplicates means specimens with the same collection number. When the taxonomist or the author collected more or gathering or many branches from a tree or many herbaceous plants from a gathering, then all these specimens will have the same collection number. So one of these collection is designated as holotype, and the rest with the same specimen number is known as isotypes. So it's duplicate. So holotype is the duplicate of isotypes. So that is holotype and its duplicate isotype. Then several collections cited by the author beside the holo and isotypes. So he will designate holotype, then its duplicate isotypes, then he will mention other specimens also in the publication as his reference materials. And these specimens are known as paratypes, and their duplicates are known as isoparatypes. So paratypes and isoparatypes. So paratypes and isoparatypes are specimens cited together with the holotype and its duplicates, isotypes. So they are the specimen cited by the author in the original publication. Then types not designated by the author. Several collections cited by the author collectively as types. When the author cite many specimens in the publication without citing a holotype, then the cited specimens are known as syntype. When the author cites many specimens without designating a holotype, then the collection is known as syntypes, and the duplicate specimens of the syntype specimens are known as isosyntypes. So these are not designated specimens. So these are the specimens cited in the publication as reference material. Then these all are specimens designated by the author or cited by the author. And now comes the types designated by a subsequent author. from materials consulted or cited by the original author. When the type is designated by the original author, that is the author who validly published the name. He failed to designate the type, or when the specimen designated as holotype is missing, then a subsequent author will designate a specimen as its type, as type of the name. Then such type is known as lectotype, and the lectotype is always cited from the specimens referred by the original author. The remaining syntypes after designation of one of them as lectotype is paralectotype. So, or lectoparatype. That means when the original author do not designate holotype, then the cited specimens are known as syntypes, and one subsequent author can typify the name by designating one specimen from the syntypes as type, and this is known as lectotype, and the process is known as lectotypification. And its duplicates are known as paralectotype or lectoparatype. And these all types are the specimen cited or seen by the original author. Now comes neotype and isoneotypes. And neotype and isoneotype are not the specimens cited or seen by the original author. When all the specimens seen or cited by the original author are missing, or there is no cited specimens, then an author can, or a taxonomist can designate a new specimen as its type. Then it is known as neotype. Material cited and or seen by the author and duplicates thereof are not known to exist. Subsequent author designates a new type, which is known as neotype, and its duplicates are known as isoneotype. So material cited or seen by the author and duplicates thereof are not known to exist. Then a subsequent author designate a new type, that is known as neotype, and its duplicates are known as isoneotype. If no holotype was indicated by the author of a name, or when the holotype has been lost or destroyed, or when the material designated as a type is found to be belong to more than one taxon, a lectotype, or if permissible, a neotype as a substitute for it may be designated. A lectotype always takes precedence over a neotype, and there is no chance for lectotypification. Then a neotype is selected, that is known as neotypification, except as provisions by Article 7.10. And isotype, if such exists, must be chosen as the lectotype. Isotype is the duplicate of the holotype. When holotype is destroyed or when it is missing, its isotype is designated as its or lectotype. And if there is no isotype, then specimen is collected from or designated from syntypes. If no isotype exists, the lectotype must be chosen from among the syntypes if such exist. If neither an isotype nor a syntype nor any of the original material is extant, that is, there is no record of material seen by the original author, a neotype is selected. A lectotype is a specimen or illustration selected from the original material to serve as a nomenclature type when no holotype was indicated at the time of publication, or as long as it is missing. When two or more specimens have been designated as types by the author of a specific or infraspecific name, that is male and female flowering and fruiting, etc., the lectotype must be chosen from them. Some authors may designate different specimens as like a holotype, That is, in the case of unisexual plants. Then one tick from male plant and one tick from female plant is taken as its type. That is a collection, two collections. So that is not possible in typification. Then a subsequent author will select one of these as its type, lectotype, either male or female. So it is not possible to take different specimens from male plant and from female plant, from flowering tick or from fruiting tick, etc. as types. So collection is not, different collections are not permitted. An isotype is any duplicate of the holotype. It is always a specimen. Isotype is always specimen. Holotype is not always specimen. Holotype is sometimes an illustration, maybe a photograph, etc. A syntype is any one or two or more specimens cited by the author when no holotype was designated, or any one or two or more specimens simultaneously designated as types. So this is the holotype of Julostylis ambumalensis, Pradeep et Shivarajan, species species SP novi means published at the status of species. The rank of the name is species from Malappuram district in Kerala. And this is location, and this is specimen name. This is the name of the specimen number, and this specimen number is the holotype. Holo means holotype, and that is published in MH Madras Herbarium. And its duplicate. Duplicate means the other specimen, another specimen with the same collection number, and this is isotype, and that is deposited in Cali. Cali means Calicut University Herbarium. A paratype is a specimen or illustration cited in the protologue. Protologue means the publication in which the new name is published. That is neither the holotype or nor an isotype, nor one of the syntypes if two or more specimens were simultaneously designated as types. A neotype is a specimen or illustration selected to serve as nomenclature type as long as all of the material on which the name of the taxon was based is missing. A new name published as avowed substitute, nomen novum, for an older name is typified by the name of the older name. And sometimes new names are given for a taxon, and the original name may have been used for some other taxon, some other plant groups. So that in that case, the new name published is not available for that taxon. So a new name is given for a taxon, that is known as nomen novum, new name, publication of new name. So publication of new name is typified by the type of the older name. A new name formed from a previously published legitimate name, that is status novum. Status novum means when the status of the taxon is changed, when a species is changed to status of a genus, or a species is changed to status of an infraspecific taxon, say for variety or subspecies, or a variety is changed to status of species. In such cases, the new name is typified by the type of the basionym. Basionym is the older name, and similarly is the case with the combination noun. So the name Canscorinella stricta, when it is transferred to that is when the name Canscora stricta is transferred to Canscorinella stricta, the new name is typified by the type of Canscora stricta. So that is combination noun. So these are about the important rules and regulations of ICBN. Then in next class we will discuss more rules and regulations which are responsible for name changes in botanical nomenclature. Thank you.